Okay, this is M5 Vol.4 Dominance / Final Graduation and M5 Opinions 2006 year.
I had mentioned the subject of finals and dominance in regard to graduation, but I can see that further clarification may be required. The current, wherever in this galaxy, simultaneous path planet is for those higher selves that have chosen this path. The phenomena of dominant incarnations in their ultimate final will only occur with the higher self who has chosen the current simultaneous path planet as Shim's graduation point. Any higher self who desires to continue their game experiences on the next designated simultaneous planet will, of course, do so. These higher selves will not, repeat not, create their dominance and final here on Earth. They will only move into the dominant final positions when they are ready. This is their choice and theirs alone. Those higher selves who have dominance in the final have designated themselves as pre-graduates of that particular simultaneous planet in our galaxy game. I have discovered that it is very difficult for many M5 readers to be content with what they have learned in the materials and to enjoy the game for what it is. Instead, there are many wannabe finals and other designation desired out there. In all editions of this series, I said that M5 was not written for everyone. It is directed to very advanced dominance and finals. I did not say it was written for all simultaneous path incarnates. To ask me that I meant all is not to read my caveat correctly. Those for whom M5 is written are able to grasp the information as intended for the levels they are. The M5 series will be beneficial to non-pre-graduates to a certain extent. For them it is like a preview of things yet to come when they decide to graduate. The graduation decision is made previous to incarnating on a simultaneous planet. Higher selves who decide to continue in the game will just enjoy their simultaneous incarnations of the levels they choose. They will have incarnations in the very advanced stage. Yet this is part of their path experiences as well. The decision to generate dominance in the final usually comes as a graduation event is occurring. This decision takes effect on the next, not current, simultaneous path planet. Non-pre-graduating, simultaneous path higher selves are now making decisions to move to the pre-graduate platform on the next simultaneous path planet. To be overly concerned with your current path position with your higher self is just as obodiated. This does not come from your spirit who knows exactly which incarnation Shim is. If you are one who spends too much time on this concern, if you are dominant, etc., no, you are stuck in the body ID loop. Body IDs are always concerned with where they are on the ranking pyramid. This is an Orion genetic program of subservience. To be curious is one thing. To be obsessive is another, as is to assign a designation based on desire. You are who you are and that cannot be changed. In actuality, your higher self is not subservient to anyone and you are your higher self. If you bow to and get meat around royalty or elected officials, no, that is pure body ID. I understand why many M5 readers are so concerned with their position, because this is where you are on your path. You must be aware that you are where you are and act accordingly. Don't try to pass yourself off as something you are not. The mature response to being asked why you do say something you do say is to take responsibility for itself and say, this is where I am. That point is totally correct and you cannot be chastened for it. Recently there has been a flurry of concern if one's higher self is a pre-graduate or not. Why does that matter? Your higher self is not concerned. Your body, though, is. It is part of the resurrection syndrome and the fear of mortal termination. The fear of death has been translated to the fear of not graduating from the earth arena. Fear generated by one's body ID. This is an experiential loop that must be broken by the incarnation. Fear, all fear, is what we must all handle and what we must all overcome. All fears feed the dark polarity and attract lower astral entities. The Matrix V series gives the reader a tremendous amount of information. I have also said that if you can't grasp any part of it, to put it aside. Then there is my bottom line advice and number one rule, trust in your higher self. Today I heard that an M5 reader has formed an opinion that he is a Part 1 final incarnation or is having his first final incarnation. Then I heard that his opinion received some verification from Val, who also was operating under this total misconception. Misinformation like this can spread like a cancer if not corrected. For all the terrific work he does, please keep in mind that Val is the publisher. He is not the source of M5 information and is subject to his opinions and interpretations based on where he is on his incarnational path. This is why I have my email address for questions not answered in the M5 materials. Val will give his opinions, but they are only his opinions even though well-meaning and therefore, they may not be aligned with the knowledge that I have. Val publishes what I write, but the content resides with me alone as the author. The Matrix V series would not be in print for you to read without Val's efforts and work. Just keep in mind that, apart from this, Val is just another M5 reader.